There was Men of the West, Gene Moxline, and John D. Burgess. Don't you just love the names of these they come up with for tunes? And now Piper Mike Dalton will be talking about the bagpipes. Oh yeah, that.
I'm a teacher, so I'm not going to use the microphone. I hope that's okay. Can everybody hear me? Raise your hand. Okay, if you've got the answer to this question, raise your hand. Where are the bagpipes from? Did you say Scotland? Some of them are from Scotland, but this is one of the oldest instruments in the world. There's another one that's older that we talked about a little earlier, and those are the percussions, those are the drums. But these pipes, this type of instrument actually evolved in the Middle East. Millennia, thousands and thousands of years ago, and it migrated across Europe and then eventually all around the world. And as it migrated, the pipes varied. In Spain, where I walked a couple of years ago, they have a pipe called the gaita, which is a little different than this. The pipe that we play is called the Great Highland Bagpipe, or pibmore. But all the bagpipes essentially are the same in that they've got a bag. You see, when you just play the chanter, which is what we practice on, when you stop to take a breath, the music stops, or the sound stops, depending on how good you are. There's a joke. So they started doing something circular breathing, using their mouth as a bag. Really hard to do. Really good pipers can do that when they practice. But most people then put a bag onto their pipes. And those early bags, of course, were made from animal hide, animal skins. Some pipers today still use sheepskin bags or elk skin bags. I think probably everybody in the band is using some sort of synthetic. Maybe with the natural hide on the outside. They're a lot more stable for us. We don't have to season them anymore. It's a lot easier to play. So the basics of the bagpipe, you've got this little melody stick called the chanter that I talked about. It plays 9 notes. Start with a low G, go up to a high A. 9 notes. And they're just open notes. And the way we try to embellish it, when you heard Mary playing, she was embellishing with things called grace notes. Really short little notes. Single notes, doublings, triplets. Some of them get really complex, like a 64th note, really, really fast. And that's what gives the music the beauty, and it breaks up those notes. So that's the chanter. The next thing is called the blowpipe. It's got a little flapper valve in there, so we can blow into the bag, and then we can breathe and make it through a set. And as we breathe, then we squeeze the bag, because you want to try to maintain even pressure on the reeds. If you're vacillating, so will the sound. These 3 big sticks sticking out are called drones. And what do? Like me right now, I'm just droning on and on. The large one's a bass drone. The other 2 are tenor drones. And if you know anything about physics, you can change the column of air, you change the frequency, you change the pitch. So that's how we tune these. We tune these to our chanter reed. Our chanter reed is a double reed. Our drone reeds are single reeds. Some people consider these a weapon of war, and they certainly were used during wartime. We like to consider them a musical instrument. So if you'd like to see these later on, a lot of us, any pipers would be willing to share. We're always looking for more pipers. Oh, I'll mention one more thing. One of the dangerous things to do is to put a new reed in that you haven't been using and practicing. And it's harder. And then you get something called 4th drone. And 4th drone is the air coming out of your lip as you're trying to blow. Because my reed is really hard right now. So, enjoy.
Hello, I'm going to be playing a tune called A Fond Kiss, written by Robert Burns a couple hundred years ago.
So, do you want this? Or?
No, I'll just
He'll do it.
I'll just holler. I'm not a teacher or anything, I'm just loud. What I'm going to be talking about are the wear that we have. This is Pete, he's going to be my stand-in for a lovely assistant. I'll go top to bottom. So here we have our bonnets. This particular style is called a Glengarry. It's got a wonderful little red poof on top and tails. And then on the side, this is the band's crest. It's the same as the one that's on the side of the bass drum. And this is the war memorial that's on top of Mount Greylock. Then we have vests and Pakistani shirts, ties, which have the same tarp as the kilts. I'll talk about in a second. Next, we have sporage, which is this lovely thing here. The pipers wear it in the front, the drummers wear it to the side because it gets in the way of the drums. This started out as a shield that a man would carry with him, and it's set on this little belt in front of him to protect everything. Now they don't need shields so much anymore. They're utilitarian, so it's a little pocket that we can keep things in, keys for our cars, that kind of stuff. And then we have a nice big kilt belt. Oh, well, I do. And then we have the kilt itself. Believe it or not, there are 9 yards of material in this kilt. That we have so much material. They're very warm in the winter, and oh, I forgot what that is. 9 yards is not that long. Yep, and it's very warm in the summer. The tartan is a special one. This was designed by a former band member, and this pattern is registered with the registry in Scotland. It's called the Greylock tartan. You may only wear it if you're in the Berkshire Highlanders. But we're always looking for one. The colors, it's predominantly green, like our wonderful Berkshires, interlaced with blue for our lakes and rivers, and then we have red and yellow for the leaves that change in the fall, and then just a little bit of white for the snow that we sometimes get. Moving on, we have the hose, which are worn to about the height of the knee. And then here on the hose is the flashing. That used to serve a practical purpose before elastics, where it would keep the hose up so it wouldn't fall down around your ankles. Tucked secretly into the hose, Pete has his skin dew. Yep. Which stands for the dark knife, right? That's what it means? Yep. And it's a utilitarian knife that you have with yourself for cutting up food or self-defense. Then we have the laces for the shoes, which are tied up on the calf. The reason for that is that if they were tied around the shoes, they would get wet and drag through the mud. Speaking of the shoes, you'll notice that these have holes tooled into the leather. They don't go all the way through, but they used to, because the rain was so prevalent in Scotland that no one walks around puddles and everyone just goes right through it. And so the holes will let the water drain out. I forget anything? That's it, thank you.
And the rain is still prevalent in Scotland. So there was a race car, and then there was a pipe band, and then there was no more race car. Speaks to our golf. I'm going to play for you the ground of the first part of a piece of music called P-Rock. It's translated to be pipe music because when the pipes were first played in Scotland, they didn't play marches, strathspeys, reels, all that stuff. They played P-Rock. And it's only played on the Great Highland Bagpipe. And you would have a tutor. None of this was written down. You have a tutor, and they'd sing a set of vocables to you, and that's how you knew what notes and grace notes you were to play. So I'm going to play the first part of the ground of the P-Rock, which is supposed to be one of the oldest ones that was composed back in mid-1500s. 1800s called Macintosh's Lament. And I would ask you to just close your eyes and pretend you're in Scotland, but I won't have you do that because in Scotland today, it's like 50 degrees and bucketing. So we'll just stay